a new study challenging how we think about obesity, and this study could affect millions of Americans. It was published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA. The research suggests the traditional BMI, the body mass index, is kind of antiquated. It may no longer be the best way to determine or define obesity. Instead, it proposes an approach that includes other body measurements. Visceral fat is so much more important, as we're finding out. Under this new definition, nearly 70% of American adults could now qualify as being obese or having obesity. And that is quite the jump from the current number of 43%. Well, Dr. Jeffrey Kraft is an expert in bariatric and metabolic health at Hackensack University Medical Center. He joins us this morning. Dr. Kraft, good to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
And let me just say for the record, I am a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass patient from 2003 and a GLP-1 patient since the last year. So I've been on it all. I've gone from 360 to 180 so I'm literally half my former weight. So I understand your language, and I love the fact that we have you on. What makes
Very
this
nice,
study?
Ken. You did very well.
Well, thanks to people like you. Thank God.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I may not even be here at 58. I was very obese at 20. What
yeah.
makes this new study so significant, Dr. Kraft?
Well, it really speaks to something we all know in my profession for a while now, which is that central obesity, having fat essentially around your abdomen or torso region is really what links your weight to your health problems or potential health problems. So things like sleep apnea, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, essentially lumped into something called metabolic disorder. That's basically when surgery or medicines is really going to help you prevent medical problems or get rid of medical problems you already have. So we've known this for a while. Body mass index obviously has some controversy associated with it in the media. One way of putting it is, Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was huge, doing tons of lifting, he qualified as morbidly obese, but that is muscle weight, of course. And, having a lot of fat around your abdomen region really predisposes you to a lot of medical problems. So that's much more relevant than just your weight to height ratio.
Yeah, so we talk about visceral fat. Talk about what that is and why that is such an important factor. Is visceral fat the fat between the organs?
Yeah, so everyone has some amount of fat between their organs. That's necessary for normal function. But having excessive amounts of that, things like fatty liver disease, we have this sheet of protective fat in our abdomen called the omentum. Anyone who does surgery in the abdomen knows that that can be massive in some people. And it basically produces, to simplify it, a ton of hormones that really are not good for us. So, fatty liver disease, at least 1 out of 3 Americans has that. That basically creates like a congestive, uh, like blood flow in your abdomen. So everything starts to not work so good, and that adds up over years to decades and creates a lot of medical problems.
And for people that don't realize, you could be overtly thin, right? You could be a non-drinker, non-smoker, and have fatty liver disease. Am I correct?
100%. In fact, fatty liver disease is kind of an interesting name because it does build up fat in your liver, and it literally can create cirrhosis even a non-drinker, and it is becoming a leading cause of cirrhosis. But it's actually due to too much consumption of carbohydrates and sugar. It actually has nothing to do with the consumption of fatty foods.
All those people people like me who've been saying they eat all those sweets and they never gain an ounce. Technically,
Yeah.
they may have been gaining a lot because don't you store a certain amount of carbs overnight, and I know in your
Yeah.
liver for use when you wake up. It doesn't that help? Doesn't it get released as you're waking up to help bring you awake? Isn't
Yes.
that
Yes.
the surge comes from your liver?
Exactly. Anyone who played football or wrestling, when I played football, they'd always encourage us to have a big bowl of pasta the night before. You want to create this essentially reserve of energy in your liver, and that's why your liver stores essentially sugars for you to use when you're, exercising excessively. What happens when you're not exercising and consuming way too many carbs and sugars is that that just builds up to a point where it becomes pathologic, and it really creates a lot of problems.
Fascinating. So now, if obesity is now redefined to include the waist measurements you were talking about, how does that affect, say, people from being eligible to get weight loss medications like we have Wegovy, Ozempic, rather? Oh, I almost said Olympic, Ozempic, and Zepbound. How does that impact whether they'll be eligible to get that?
Well, right now, usually the insurance companies are the last to change their policies, but there's been a movement in the metabolic surgery field for quite a long time to lower those requirements, because we do see health problems come up from a BMI between 30 and 35, which currently most insurances don't qualify you for surgery or well, at least surgery. Some medicines, of course, but we do see people have sleep apnea at a body mass index of 32, and they're far away from qualifying for surgery. So if you start to lower those requirements, this is classic preventative medicine. This is what we're supposed to be doing in this country. When I was in medical school at Drexel many years ago, they were saying that the push in America should be to preventative medicine, right?
Mhm.
If we stop the progress of these diseases before people are, let's say, on insulin, you can do a lot of good for patients. Not only the medical problems, but quality of life. I mean, anyone who's lost a substantial amount of weight can tell you that they just feel better all day. They wake up feeling better. They sleep better. You can sleep 6 hours and feel, when you're thin, and feel like you slept 12 hours when you're overweight. So it's a lot of little things that really aren't what people realize until they do this, like yourself. You feel better than you did before.
Yeah, Doc, I went from high cholesterol, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, on and on and on, borderline diabetic. It's all gone. It's all gone.
Yeah,
Feel like $1 million. And metabolically, my doctor said I just shaved like 10 years, or added, I should say, 10 years to my life because of it. And it's just, you're right.
for sure.
Even arthritis and all doesn't hurt as much because of it.
Yeah.
We got about 10 seconds left. I just want to quickly ask, do you think that surgery is going to become a thing of the past with the new GLP ones?
No, I do not. I think the medicines will have their limit, and people will come back to see us and explore surgery. We see that already.
It does work. I could speak from experience. Doctor, thank you so much. You are the expert at Hackensack University Medical Center, Dr. Jeffrey Kraft. We appreciate you coming
Thank
on
you,
today.
Ken.